last year, who we already mentioned, they got beat up Friday night by the Chargers, losing 27-21. Concern for Mahomes and the Chiefs after falling to Herbert and the Chargers. I think I already alluded to this earlier. Now, with a caveat, I'm going to say this. I do not have concern about them yet. Spoiler alert, I am predicting them, obviously, to lose in the Super Bowl rematch on Sunday against my Philadelphia Eagles to knock them at 0-2.
I could see them starting the season 0-3.
Oh, there is no way they lose to the Giants. I will tell you that right now.
They start Jackson Dart at quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you that right now. If the Chiefs do fall to 0-2, that will be my favorite bet. I will take the Chiefs -30. I don't care what the line is. They will crush the Giants because that may be Brian Daboll's last game as an NFL head coach. That's how bad the Giants look. I will say this, though. I actually do have two concerns for the Chiefs in this regard. I don't have concern that, oh my God, the sky is falling. They're not going to be this good. They may miss the playoffs. I think all that's baloney. What I do think is two legitimate concerns is this. Number one, outside of that one touchdown catch, Travis Kelce still looks old. And I was coming into this year thinking Kelce was going to have a better offseason. He was going to come in resurgence. He was going to be on the same page as Mahomes. He had a bitter taste in his mouth from how the Super Bowl ended a year ago. And he still looked like the same Travis Kelce, who is not the same player. And the other thing, and that, by the way, complicates things now with Xavier Worthy. We don't know his health status. And the other thing is this. Their defense, which had carried them the last two seasons, one of the best defenses in the league, they got shredded by a Charger passing attack that was efficient last year, but did not pass for a lot of yards. And the Chargers decided we're going to throw basically all over the yard here. And then they had Chris Jones line up at defensive end, especially on that last snap. He loses contain because he goes inside instead of staying outside. That's what allows Justin Herbert to man coverage to run for the first down and end the game. And again, despite the Chargers, in my opinion, significantly outplaying the Chiefs, if they would have just got that third down stop, who knows? We could be saying the Chiefs could be 1-0. So how concerned can you really be?
So, because of their wide receiver problems, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at about a 7 right now for the Chiefs, honestly. Because think about this. They're having wide receiver problems, and everybody else in the AFC West was victorious. The Chargers beat them. The Raiders went into New England and won. And then the Broncos beat the Titans. So everybody else is 1-0. The Chargers already have a game in hand over the Chiefs in the division. The Raiders have that same opportunity when they host the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Actually, the Chargers play 3 straight division games to open the season because they host the Broncos next week. So that's a very interesting opportunity for them. We'll see if they take advantage of it. But because of the wide receiver issues and the fact that, you and I both said the Raiders were going to be an improved team. I have the Broncos winning the division. I think you have the Chargers winning the division.
No, I have Kansas City winning the division, but I have the Chargers and Raiders both as wild cards.
Okay, so you have the Chargers and Raiders both as wild cards. My mistake. But, this AFC West, it's going to be very improved. And the Chargers showed, no, you're not just going to be the bullies of this division anymore. I know they've won it 9 straight years. I don't think it's going to be 10. I don't.
Well, the weird thing is, I told you when we did our NFL prediction show, I could not comprehend for the life of me how the Rashawn Slater injury for the Chargers automatically made Denver the favorite in the division. It's like everybody completely skipped past the Chargers. To me, if there was one team that's going to knock off the Chiefs in this division, it's a Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert led team.
And you very well could be right, but I just really like the pairing of Sean Payton with Bo Nix. That defense is legit with Denver. I love.
Well, so is the Chargers. The Chargers defense was better than Denver's last year. They had the #1 scoring defense in the NFL.
So I think, in my opinion, it's going to be a fight between those two for the division, unless Kansas City turns things around.
I think the Chiefs. Now, the question is for the Chiefs, we thought they had a very hard schedule going into it. Well, what if the Lions somehow start 0-3? Then is Detroit not as good as we thought? Does that schedule get a little bit easier? So, as I said again, there are still a lot of unknowns here in week 1.
And I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs and they're going to have a losing record. No, I still think they're going to be a very good team. For God's sakes, it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I'm not trying to be dismissive of them. All I'm saying is I think the Chargers and the Broncos have closed the gap on them, and the Raiders aren't far behind. And for me, if they don't fix their wide receiver issues, the Chiefs are in trouble.
I agree that all 3 teams have closed the gap. I guess we'll see how significant of a gap it closes for the rest of the season.
What do
Judge,
wait, before we move on, what do you think of the idea? Because number 10 is not very happy in Miami.
I was going to bring this up.
Okay. And the Chiefs need a wide receiver. Do you think there could be a reunion?
I brought this up during our prediction show as well. I wouldn't be surprised if it got done by next week. Let's talk about it. The Super Bowl rematch, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, Tom Maroney, the whole crew. Fox
the same
Sundays.
Crew that called Super Bowl 59. And let's start with this. Jalen Carter, who was ejected on during Thursday's game before the first damn snap. I don't know what he was thinking.
There's all these rumors out there, and if you watch the video, you can see Dak Prescott. He did say something to Jalen Carter. Allegedly, it was something about his brother died or something, making a case to obviously what he did in Georgia, which was why he dropped in the draft. That he almost basically committed murder. I mean, let's call it the way it is.
And there's also the rumor going around that it was Dak Prescott who spit first.
Which he did. If you watch the video, that is true. And they showed that on the first angle when they first ejected him. Dak did spit. He spit at the ground. And I think what he ended up saying to Jalen Carter, something along the lines of, again, like your brother's dead or something. But then he said, you wouldn't spit. And Jalen Carter then obviously responded with what he did. Now, again, it's absolutely wrong. He should have gotten fined. I wouldn't put it past my Philadelphia Eagles to internally suspend him to start this game against Kansas City. As a matter of fact, if they do it, I would not blame them. They said they're going to handle everything internally. They did the same thing with a similar conduct detrimental to the team against the Falcons in week 2 last year. We ended up losing that game. And what happened against the Saints last year, that's when he started his campaign as one of the best defensive tackles in football a year ago. Now, I had predicted Jalen Carter to win Defensive Player of the Year this year. If he got suspended or ejected or whatever, I don't know if that technically makes him ineligible for the award or not. But when he does go out there against Kansas City on Sunday, I would suspect he's going to get another penalty because that boy is going to play with rage and he's going to play with anger. He is, to me, I said he's the next Aaron Donald, which I think he is, but he plays like Ndamukong Suh back in the day when Ndamukong Suh first started in the week.
Yes. And he was suspended for a game, but I guess because of the ejection and basically missing the entire game against Dallas, he already served that suspension.
And by the way, you can see the impact immediately. As soon as he was off the field, it was like, uh-oh, the Cowboys were running the ball down my defense's throat. Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, it didn't matter. If that fumble does not happen and Quinyon Mitchell does not pick it up and Dak Prescott doesn't make a game-saving tackle, I'm not sure we win that game. That game was so weird. It had two half times, a rain delay. Teams could not stop each other in the first half, and then they couldn't, get a first down basically in the second half. So,
And Jalen Hurts didn't throw it to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith at all.
well, he threw to Devontae one time early, and then obviously A.J. Brown late. I will say, because I went back and I watched when they would show the overhead of the play designs. A.J. Brown was not open. And the Cowboys were doing that by design. They were double teaming A.J. Brown. They were taking him out of the game. I don't think Jalen Hurts was intentionally not trying to throw the ball to A.J. Brown. I think their game plan was, we're going to take away A.J. Brown. We're going to give you Dallas Goedert underneath and Jahad Dotson and live with it. Now, do I think A.J. Brown's frustrated? I do. Do I think they're going to try to get A.J. Brown the ball more in week 2 against the Chiefs? I do. Do I think this can become a bigger story down the road if A.J. Brown goes another half or even, dare I say, the first quarter of this game against the Chiefs without getting another touch? Unfortunately, yeah, I do.
And I don't think the Eagles are going to trade A.J. Brown. I don't think it'll get to that level.
I think it's more likely than you do, actually.
Okay.
I'm not saying it right now. I'm saying if this continues to be the issue, if he's going the whole game without a target, there's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
This was different than last year in the AFC and NFC championships because while the offense ran through Saquon, you still felt like, okay, A.J. Brown, Devontae is involved. They're at least getting a couple touches. Where it just felt like very weirdly, especially in the second half, we were like trying to run out the clock because all rhythm of the game was disrupted by the rain delay. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah. Which I drafted both Devontae and A.J. Brown. I tried in a couple of my leagues, I tried to get all three, Saquon, Devontae, and A.J. Brown. It didn't end up it worked in one of my leagues, not the others, but nonetheless. But how do you feel about the trade the Eagles just made yesterday with the Jaguars bringing in Tank Bigsby?
So I don't think a lot of people know this, but Will Shipley did suffer a rib injury. That was confirmed today. He's going to be out a few weeks. That is my best guess for why they brought in Bigsby, who was on the practice squad last year, so he has familiarity with the system. I don't mind it. Do I think a fifth and a sixth is a lot for a backup running back? I maybe wouldn't have paid that much, but in Howie Roseman, we trust. I mean, the guy does have 2 Super Bowls, and he's a Hall of Fame GM.
Yes. I do find it interesting that this Super Bowl rematch is in Kansas City again, just like the previous Super Bowl rematch between these two when they played on Monday Night Football a couple years ago. I believe the Eagles won that previous.
We did. Remember that was the game where Mahomes aired it out to MVS and he dropped the ball in stride, or Kansas City was taking the lead.
Yes, that's correct. So do I think it's going to be 40-22 like it was in Super Bowl 59? I don't. But if the Chiefs don't get their wide receiver issues fixed, like I mentioned earlier, the Eagles could come in here and blow them out. Honestly.
Well, Philly has a cornerback 2 issue. I will say that. That's the biggest issue I see for my team right now, and repeating, is who's going to be the number 2 corner outside of Quinyon Mitchell, because Adoree Jackson got toasted by CeeDee Lamb. Most of the catches that CeeDee Lamb had prior to his free drops in the fourth quarter on Thursday's game was against Adoree Jackson.
By the way, I did like that CeeDee Lamb took accountability for after the game.
The Cowboys looked way more buttoned up. And by that, I mean situationally, ready to go, creative, in and out of the clock. They look prepared to play unlike any team we saw the last 2 years in the McCarthy era.
I agree with you.
Now, again, to me, it's and again, this may be a cop out. You can say what you want because I'm an Eagles fan. As soon as Jalen Carter got ejected for that game, I think the whole game plan got thrown out the window for both teams. And then the rain delay happened, and it's like, I don't even know what to make of this game. Can we just win the game?
Yeah, I understand that. But like going into this game, how much is revenge going to be on the minds of the Chiefs? You know,
Well,
like
I don't think that. I think winning is on the mind of the Chiefs because I was rooting for them to beat the Chargers because I did not want to face an 0-1 Chiefs team. I am scared of that factor because I don't think the Chiefs want to go down 0-2.
plus this is the Chiefs' home opener.
Yeah, we've seen them lose home openers though in the past.
Yeah, they really should have lost last year's home opener if Isaiah Likely's toe isn't on the freaking line.
Correct. So, like you said, I don't think it's 40-22. It should be 40-6. But no. I think it's going to be like 24-17. I think it is going to be a lower scoring game. I envision Mahomes having the chance to win the game and my defense getting a stop to seal it.
Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts' mobility is going to make the difference. Do I think he's going
to? Jalen ran a lot. I understood it. He had to make plays when he had to, specifically at the end of the game.
Sure.
But 14 rushing attempts, that was a lot. I do want to see that come down. I do like the fact they were mixing in A.J. Dillon and Will Shipley, not giving Saquon Barkley every carry in the world. That's also another reason why I think they brought in Bigsby for the time being, because they want Saquon fresh for a postseason run because he did get so much of the workload a year ago.
And I do think also, I know we're talking about the Super Bowl 59 rematch, but from the Jaguars' perspective, that's for them to trade Tank Bigsby, to me, sends a loud and clear message that they believe Tank or Travis Etienne can figure it out with Trevor Lawrence.